Hi everyone and welcome to this tutorial on how to make Bodycon Maxi SELENA pattern. My name is Julia and I'm excited to guide you through the steps of creating your very own garment. If you love this dress and want to make your own, I have a great news. You can buy this pattern from my shop on Etsy and I will leave a link in the description below. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced viewer, this tutorial will provide you with the knowledge and skills to make your own dress. I will provide step-by-step instructions and tips to help you create a stunning masterpiece. To make this dress, you will need around 1.5 to 2 meters of stretch fabric, depending on the size chosen and the width of the fabric. As well, you will need a matching thread. The pattern includes pieces for making your own bias binding from the main fabric, however you can also use pre-made bias tape. If you choose this option, you should buy double fold bias tape that is 2 cm wide and you will need approximately length of 2 meters. For the purposes of this tutorial, I made this dress in two options, one with my own bias binding and one with pre-made bias binding. When working with a pattern designed for stretch fabric, it's important to choose a fabric that has the same amount of stretch as the recommendation in the pattern. For SELENA dress pattern, you need to use a fabric with at least 50% stretch. So let's start sewing. The first step in making the dress is to cut out the pattern pieces from the main fabric. The pieces you need to cut out include the front panel, back panel, front bias tape and back bias tape. The next step is to place the front panel and back panel right sides together. Align the side edges and match up the notches. Once the pieces are lined up, you should pin them together to keep them in place while sewing. After pinning the panels together, the next step is to sew them together using a 0.7 cm seam allowance and finish the edges. Here are some options for sewing and finishing the seam. Option 1. If you don't have access to an overlock, use a lightening stitch, triple thread stitch or narrow zigzag stitch to sew the seam and finish the edges with a free zigzag stitch over the raw edge. Option 2. If you have access to a free thread overlock, use lightening stitch, triple thread stitch or narrow zigzag stitch to sew the seam and finish the edges with the overlock. Option 3. If you have access to a 4-thread overlock, sew the panels together with twin needle. This one is most recommended. Choose the option that works best for you and your equipment. Remember to test the stitch on a scrap piece of fabric before sewing on the actual dress panels to ensure that the tension and stitch length are set correctly for your particular fabric and machine. I chose option 1 for making my dress, which is 4-thread overlock. After you have sewn the side seams together and finished the edges, you should press the seam allowances towards the back of the dress. The next step is to take the front bias tape piece and fold it in half lengthways. Then press it down along the entire length of the tape to create a crease in the center. Open the tape back up and fold one of the edges inwards towards the center crease. Then press it down along the entire length of one side. Repeat this process for the other side of the tape. Fold the bias tape over in half along the center crease and press it down all the way. Once you have the bias tape and your garment ready, open out one of the folds of the binding and line it up with the raw edge of your garment at the neckline, with the right sides facing each other. The bias tape should extend 4 cm beyond the neckline edges. Pin the bias tape to the neckline. Sew the binding to the neckline following the crease closest to the edge. This should be approximately 0.5 cm. Use a lightening stitch, triple thread stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. Gently press the seam allowance and bias tape away from the garment. Press along the seam line and do not press out any folds on the bias tape. Refold the bias tape along the original folds to the wrong side of the garment. Be sure to cover the stitching line with the folded edge of the tape. Press in place and pin it. Top stitch the binding in place with the right side of the garment facing you. Stitch very close to the edge of the tape through all layers. Make sure the stitching has caught the edge of the tape on the wrong side. Use a lightening stitch, triple thread stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. Press it. After completing the top stitching, trim away the seam allowance of the bias tape close to the dress's front edges of the underarms. To prepare the back bias tape, you can follow the same step as you did for the front bias tape. Fold the back bias tape in half and press it all the way down. Open the bias tape and fold the edge into the center line. Press it all the way down on one side. Do the same for the other side. Fold it over in half and press all the way down. To attach the bias tape to the back neckline of your garment, find the center of the bias tape and the center of the back of the dress. Open out one of the folds of the binding and pin the center points together with right sides together. Align the raw edges of the bias tape along the back and underarm edges. Pin it. Sew the bias tape to the dress following the crease closer to the edge. This should be approximately 0.5 cm from the edge of the fabric. Use a lightening stitch, triple thread stitch or narrow zigzag stitch to sew the bias tape in place. After you have sewn the bias tape to the back and underarm seams of your garment, it's important to press the seam allowance and bias tape away from the garment. Refold the bias tape on creases around straps, underarms and back. Repress if necessary, especially where straps are joined. Wrap the tape to the wrong side of the garment and pin it, just covering the stitching line with the folded edge of the tape. Press it. Top stitch the binding in place with the right side of the garment facing you. Stitch along the bicep from one strap to the second strap through the underarms and back bodies. Stitch very close to the edge of the tape through all layers. Ensure the stitching has caught the edge of the tape on the wrong side. Use a lightening stitch, triple stitch stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. Press it all around. To place the straps onto the back panel of the garment, locate the notches marked on the back panel for strap placement. If you cannot find the notches, you can measure 12 cm from the back center line and 6 cm from the seam line to find the strap placement. Take the end of the strap and place it into the strap placement notch. Make sure that the left side of the strap is inserted into the left side of the garment. Ensure that the strap is placed around 2 to 3 mm from the edge of the garment. Once both straps are in place, pin them securely to the back panel of the garment. Stitch the strap to the back panel using a lightening stitch, triple stitch stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. Make a stitch on the top stitch line of the bias tape on the left side of the garment. Then, fold the strap with right side to the left side of the back panel and pin it. Then stitch very close to the edge on the left side of the garment by using a lightening stitch, triple stitch stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. Before finishing the bottom edge of the dress inside, you may want to try it on to determine the desired length and make any necessary adjustments. Once you have determined the desired length, finish the bottom hem of the dress with an overlock. If you do not have an access to an overlock, use a zigzag stitch and press it. Fold the bottom edge of the dress inside 1 cm wide. Press it and pin it. Secure the hem, sew along the folded edge of the hem on the left side of the garment, 5 mm from the edge, using a lightening stitch, triple stitch stitch or narrow zigzag stitch. The last step is to press the hem. Congratulations, you have just completed making a beautiful dress. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more sewing tutorials and tips. Also check out my shop on Etsy where you can purchase the pattern using this tutorial and many other sewing patterns. Thank you for watching and happy sewing!